She's got a heart score around 123, and she's showing me that she likes to go a more distance.
Yeah, I've never let her do that yet, but that's probably...
When I first met Bill, he came around my barn, and I was actually back on my wash rack giving the horse a bath, and he initiated a conversation, and I've called it that he entertained me the whole morning. But what caught my attention was I had a filly that was a very good racehorse, and she had gone off form. I pretty much knew it was up in her left front shoulder. You know, without hesitation, he said before he kind of left, you know, and said he was going to take off, the last thing he said to me was, you know, when you're running the water over that filly's left shoulder, that really gives her a lot of comfort. He says, I can see that she's got a problem there. And he walked away. And, you know, that catches your attention when you know, people do that. Because there was no way that he knew. He didn't watch her train. He didn't watch her, you know, he had no inkling as to what actually was going on with the filly. And she wasn't giving anything away by the way she was standing or anything like that. You know, sometimes if you approach the horse or you watch him in the stall, you can figure out where a problem is. You know, quite honestly, I don't see Bill do that. I mean, he pretty much either closes his eyes or you know, he tries to go into it blindly. You know, there's been situations where it's been beneficial for him to look at the horses.
I've been a veterinarian for coming up on 20 years. I'm board certified in internal medicine. I have a master's degree in equine exercise physiology and a PhD in molecular parasitology. So I'm way overqualified to be raking up in the barn here.
Oh, you want me to do him now?
Oh, please.
Okay, this one right here.
Please. He ran last Thursday.
Okay, we can just ask him. Oh, you're going to need to pay a lot of attention to that right front ankle and tendon. The left one seems to be all right. Left hind leg seems to be all right. The right hind leg, get it back in that suspension on that right side. That's probably the worst thing I've seen, is that suspension on that right side.
Behind.
Yeah. What do you think, Miss Claire?
I haven't talked to him.
What do you know, eh?
I'll be right back.
Okay.
99% of veterinarians do not believe in animal communicators. And I have a heavily academic background with my PhD and the research that I've done. And 99% of the time, I have a hard time believing in animal communicators. But, you know, Bill proves me wrong. And a lot of times I like to say, well, he didn't tell me anything I didn't already know. But of course, then the question is raised, well, how did he know? All right, I'm a veterinarian. You won't see many veterinarians doing this. This is how I communicate with them. This is just a needle cap, which is just to save my fingers, because I do this probably 20 times a day or more. And what I'm checking is I'm checking his acupuncture points. So we'll start with here. This is a foot point, knee point. This is checking along what's called the bladder meridian, which is a row of acupuncture points that connect along their backs, which, as you can imagine, is often a big problem with horses because we sit on their bladder meridian. And hock points, stifle points, hind foot points, everything's good on this side. This is not 100%, but it's scary accurate. I'm putting pressure on acupuncture points.
And looking for the reaction.
So going back to, this is the, interestingly, okay, he says right ankle. Interestingly, this horse has never had this come up before, but that is the right ankle point. So you can see we're getting a little reaction on that point. That point coincides with the right ankle. So
Corroboration.
that corroborates. Now, that's not a typical thing that most conventional veterinarians will do. Most veterinarians don't check ankle points, but what they do is check the distension, of which there really isn't any, and then they'll flex it. Okay. But they have to be pretty far along, or pretty far advanced, before you're going to have a reaction to pressure, to flexion. So I just did an interesting corroboration there. Right ankle, hock point, stifle point, and that's a point that coincides to the foot. In the hind leg, it's anatomical, so it's anything from the ankle all the way down to the foot. But again, very positive point. So we corroborated everything Bill said. Doesn't always happen that way, but it certainly happened that way today. So that does corroborate, but again, by conventional veterinary medicine, I'd have to say there's nothing wrong with this horse because flexion, heat, swelling, I can't find anything. There is something to it. For example, in this horse, there's nothing to see in either of the two locations that he said there was a problem. There's nothing to see. There is no heat, no swelling. There's no way he could have known that. I didn't know that when I walked in on those horses. So, I was surprised, as you could tell, that he actually picked up something that I didn't know was there. And what she said to you last year, I don't remember what the question was, but I remember the conversation afterwards was that she wanted a big-name jockey to ride her.
Ask her if she liked her job.
Her jockey is okay, but he's not the best.
Okay.
But he's okay. He's a lot better. She says he's a lot better than most of them.
Okay.
Well, why don't you name somebody you might be able to get, and we'll ask her right now who she likes.
You want to ride Dana Whitney?
Dana's okay.
Yeah.
Who else?
I want somebody that she wants, not just okay. How about Deshaun Parker?
No.
Doesn't like Deshaun?
No.
How about Tal Wynn?
He's a good yes.
He's a yes?
Yeah, good yes.
Good yes. How about Scott Speed?
No.
Joe Stokes?
No.
Oswald Pereira?
Ooh, he may be your key. Is he a good jockey?
It's okay.
Yeah.
For where
He's-
she's racing?
He's probably, that's probably one of the best yeses.
Clearly there's something to what he's doing. Exactly what it is, I can't tell you. Logic, it's hard because I'm a very logical thinker and it's very hard to think logically about specifically like the jockey conversation. How does she know who's who? She's only going to know who rode her. We did have a horse once that he said he didn't like the exercise rider. And sure enough, he goes much better with a different exercise rider. Nothing we can see, watching the horses go around. So I know that he potentially really does talk to them about that, who's actually on them at the time. But jockeys that she's never had on her back, I don't know. Does she talk to the other horses? I don't know.